Right. Here's an example of how to find the inverse of a function, graph the function, and then I'm going to show you how to do that on your calculator. So we're going to start with graphing this function. Key points to point out. Remember, this value here at the end tells us that we have a y-intercept of -2. This value in the front, remember, it tells us that our slope or gradient is 3. And I like writing it as a fraction because then it tells me my rise and my run. So if I wanted to graph that, I need to put my y-intercept down here at -2. Then I need to rise 3, 1, 2, 3, run 1, and I can put my other dot. Now I just need to play connect the dots. I'm going to go through there. There we go. You always want your line to extend right to the end of the graph. So still going through those 2 points. Oops, just a little bit. There is the graph of our function. So this is the graph of b of x. So now we need to find our inverse. So we need to go x equals 3y minus 2. Then we can go x plus 2 equals 3y. Then we can go x plus 2 divided by 3 equals 1. So we can write this in the same notation, this gradient intercept form we have b of x in. If we just basically split that 3 to go to each term. The problem is this isn't quite as nice to graph because you're trying to graph fractions. We could still do it. So positive 2/3 is a little bit close to 1, so there'd be a dot. Oops, I'm going to do a different color. There's purple. So there'd be a dot right there. And then it tells me I need to rise 1, and then run 1, 2, 3. So this sort of gives us an approximation. An easier way to do it, though, because we have a nice clean graph in our first graph, let's just reverse those points. So I have -2, 0, which means in my new graph, oops, sorry, that's actually the point in the new graph. So x is 0, y is -2. So the point in the new graph is -2, 0. So that would be right here. So you can see that's still in line with the ones that I guesstimated with the fractions. Then we're going to take this point 1 and 1. That's another one of those inflection points if you watched the first video, meaning between the 2 graphs, that point doesn't change. So that's going to be that same point right there. So now we can play connect the graphs because we know for sure that those points are correct. And you can see that my estimations with my fractions were pretty good. But the points help us be a lot more accurate. And there we go. There's the graph of our function. And now we have the graph of our inverse function being -1 of x. And I should write this in proper notation as well. B -1 of x. Okay, hope those videos help. Let me know if you still have questions.